Welcome everyone to the Voice of the Terminus show, and Tavern Talk is back to its original cast. We've been on break for 6 weeks, or actually longer I think it's been, but we're back. Welcome back Lex, Josh, Shy. The excitement! Have you missed us? Anyway, we haven't quite worked on all the kinks for Tavern Talk yet. We're still basically getting back into the trot of it. But today's show, Tavern Talk, is basically just a way for us to get back into it. We thought, this is a great and easy way for us to get back into, the business side of things. We're gonna fly over the newsletter for a little bit. Then we're going to talk about the new pledges. They made a few changes to the pledge system. But what we're going to focus on today is our new website that has been worked on now for the last 6 to 8 months, I think it is, from Kairos. And some pretty neat features we want to reveal to you all and get you guys on there, helping us test it and getting connected. And then we're going to talk about the VOT show. And then we'll talk about the VOT show, basically how we go forward from now on. And then after this, we have the community show, but we'll go step by step. So we'll start off with the newsletter, and the first one's going to be under wraps, which Josh is going to quickly go over for us. Hang on, Josh. They can't hear you. Nope. Alright, try it now.
Yeah,
Sorry
can
about
you guys
that.
hear me now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so under wraps, it basically talks about the dates. And when is alpha going to get you? When is the beta going to get you? When does it launch? Etc. And the short and sweet answer is that it's TBA, to be announced. Unfortunately, they cannot give more concrete dates than this, simply because they're a small studio. They've got their goals that they've got to try and reach, and it just takes time. So sadly, nothing is concrete until they say it is, which is good in a way. Ultimately, we won a good game, and they'll release it when they feel happy with it.
Yeah, there's always these pros and cons to the whole, releasing dates. Some companies, they have blueprints where they, lay out their goals, that their stretch goals, and the community can actually see them. There's pros and cons to however you do it. It's never done right. I know we all are eager to hear them say, hey, alpha's coming then and then, or beta's going to hit us then and then, or release is going to be then and then. But as you know, in development, in the gaming industry, lots can go wrong just like that. Lots of things can change just like that, and there's so much to do, especially with a small studio like this. And despite them, not being able to give this to us, we have to be, we have to basically look beyond all that. I know it's disappointing, but with what we've seen from development, it has been pretty solid. The constant updates we're getting, there's always something new that they show us when they do a stream, like they did recently with Co, where they showed off some of the stuff that you're going to talk about in a minute, Lex. And it's just one of those things. We have to trust them. Yeah.
And also, if you've got a spare 10 million to give them, then I'm sure that'll speed up development as well.
If someone's got a spare 10 million, you know what? I'm sorry, VR, but I'm going to say, screw them, give it to me.
Exactly.
Not saying why, just trust me.
So money talks.
Definitely.
Yeah. I will be a bit of a naysayer, though, and basically and say that yes, VR is communicating with the fans, but I don't feel it is enough.
I can definitely relate to that. Where you're coming from with this. There's definitely always room for improvement, and right. being a new studio, even though they've been around for a very long time, the people that are involved with the team, coming together and trying to get your product out there, especially with this small team that they've got, and the hard work that they're putting in there.
Being that they're a small team,
yeah.
That's why I'm not like on the soapbox waving my pitchfork.
Yeah.
It's more of an annoyance than anything. It's like if we had a little more communication, even on the little things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where a little bit of information is better than no information over a longer period of time. I'd rather get crumbs. But that's me. Some people would prefer to get larger bits in one go. So
and the thing is as well, crumbs is for everybody different.
Yeah.
I would be happy hearing, when the newsletters come out, that they post some of the bugs that they had, or some of the additional
challenge that they had to overcome
exactly
between this update and the last one.
That might be happy for us, but for others or for the mainstream, that might not be enough. So it's just trying to find that balance and everything. And I'm sure, like I said, before we went on break, I am pretty sure that 2019, come the second half of this year, things are going to change drastically. A lot is going to happen. A lot more is going to happen, and I have a gut feeling that there's going to be a lot more coming to us. It's just basically we have to hold out now. But I think things will gradually kick in. Come the second half of this year. That's just my gut feeling. Anyway, Lex, do you want to bring us up over to FX updates, or Josh, did you want to quickly say something?
No. Continue.
Yeah. So with the effects, we're basically just going to go over. They posted a nice video showing you the different spell effects. I know a lot of people are going to say right off the bat, the first initial flying effects are just basically retinted.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you're right. There are a few different slight effects to it between, like, when you'll see it through the stages that they look very, very similar at that end stage. Like the fire looks a lot like the ice at the mid section. And whatever. With the projectiles flying, it really doesn't matter that much because you're not going to notice it. What I like are the impact animations.
Yeah, exactly.
The fire really looks like it actually like wreaths around the NPC when it hits it.
It's got
the
that
ice actually turns into like a mist. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. I think it's some of the better effects that we've seen in an MMO as far as impacts go. On the grand scale, are they the best effects you've ever seen in an MMO? No. But you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah. I don't need to have the craziest looking fireball that's like, leaves singe marks in the air, but
the thing is though, right? We've had the privilege, Lex, of being able to play the game and stream it out. So, and I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes for me, especially with my eyes and everything, and obviously my age comes into play as well, sometimes it's just like too much going on in front of me. The animations look fantastic, what they have, and sometimes it feels like I'm overwhelmed.
Right.
So there's
a lot of people that are like that. I'm a midway person. I like a nice balance between my frames per second and my eye candy.
Yeah.
So I usually try to get my stuff down to where I get really good frames in most situations, but it's still...
Yeah, what I'm getting at, though, is despite these particular effects looking all similar, I can look completely past that because of the way the game looks, the way the animations look in general, the way they kind of meld together when you see a group of people or groups of people fighting. It's a wonderful, beautiful, colourful flow of events going on your screen. So I can look past that.
Look at the wizard effects that we have now. Remember that one that's kind of like this big cloud of particles?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was great. The fire impacts, people love that.
Yeah.
Was it the flashiest? No, but people still loved it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Are these going to be replaced with what we're seeing now? I don't really think so. But it's nice to see that they are working on different designs for stuff like spell projectiles and impact effects.
Yeah.
It also gives people an idea of what actually goes into making some of the stuff. Not a lot, but just a slight bit. Because you see the 3 stages, right? And it's layering on top of what's already there.
Mm.
And you have to, as a designer, you need to think about how these layer well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I read through the effects and all that. There's a lot of pretty good questions there. I would recommend reading it. The animations, we're gonna see the warrior. A lot of the warrior animations.
Yeah, I've got it on screen.
And yep, I'm pretty happy with them. They're a lot better than what we've seen in the past. They don't look super. I'm just going to use the word janky. Some folks will know what I mean. But you also notice if you read the titles to the individual animations, you're going to see that there's 2 different auto attacks for your main hand, which is great because it mixes things up a bit. Whereas, say, like EverQuest 1 has 1 animation for your primary attack, and that's it. You see it over and over again. So having 2 is great. I'd like to have 3. I'd like to have 2 for dual wielding 2, but again, that's me nitpicking. I'm still very happy with these animations personally. I really like the taunt one. It's great to finally have an animation for taunt.
Well, I'm just waiting for the dual shield animation.
Yeah, nope. I'm still waiting. I am still.
So you want the animation of curling down into the fetal position and crying?
I am still optimistic. I am still optimistic that that's going to happen. Even if it is, and even if it is only an April Fool's or a fun gimmick, I think VR. You should have that in there, even if it's just for fun, shits and giggles. It would make my day.
Yeah, no thanks. There was also a couple questions. Some of the ones that really kind of stood out to me were stuff like when you're crawling on a wall, doing a backflip to dismount. While it is agreed that would be a very cool animation, that is still a lot of work, and time permitting, they would love to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the time might not be there.
Wait, hang on. Right. So you do a backflip off the wall to basically get off the wall, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but what happens if you do that backflip and there's only a small, pathway underneath you, and you basically backflip and you miss
just keep on flipping all the way down to the floor. Plain and simple.
Those are the things you need to think about. While it is a great idea, that would also have that would be an additional animation you could technically do, right? Like you jump further away or something like that.
I think the takeaway is going to be that there's a lot of different animations that they would love to do, like sliding down the wall. Maybe there's something that would work really well with, like in Amber Fate, with the icy walls, but time is the limiter here.
Well,
will they have time to do that stuff that they want to do?
Well, technically, technically they could though, because if
you can do that later in an expansion,
exactly. If they set
a content update,
if they set the foundations to support that they can add in additional animations and whatnot, then they could do that later, at a later date. Be it a year, be it 2 years, be it 3 years.
Yeah, but things like those optional animations that a lot of people would really, really enjoy having, while they might be something they want to do, it's not really worth extending the development forward.
Yeah.
There's bigger fish to fry, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, that's something they could, if they have the time later on, the team, the game's released, the team's grown, it's become popular, it's become successful or whatnot. They can later on maybe decide to look back at these things. So just because they say that, say no right now, or they would love to, but they, devotions go elsewhere, doesn't mean that it's not something.
Yeah, that's the thing to really focus on, is the no, not right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One other bit of information that they had mentioned, that possibly in the near future, they may be showing us the animations to an epic boss fight.
Cool.
Which, personally, I'm pretty excited about. I mean, I read that little quip and I was like,
It'll be good.
We'll have to reach out to Brand and see if that's going to be soon or soonish.
So basically, soon or never, right?
Yeah.
To be cut.
Oh, hang on. Let me show off the climbing animation as well. It's in here.
Yeah, there's the climbing animations. We've seen all that from Coz. If you haven't watched that stream, I really recommend you go check it out. A lot of good stuff in there. The only animation here I'm not happy with is this little shimmy thing that they do, or this. You will see it near the end. It basically looks like you're hanging on the wall taking a poop. It really does. I'm sorry. That's all I see. But the rest of them I've been pretty happy with, all in all. And I usually get nitpicky about my animations over say, my graphics. Like, going diagonal, it looks smooth. There, right there. You're hanging on and you're just kind of like shimmying over to the side. Looks like you're pooping. Can you make that better, though? I'm going to go ahead and admit that probably you can't.
Yeah,
because that's what the guys look like when they're hanging on the wall.
It's my 14-year-old mind going, he's pooping.
Yeah. So, elsewhere, though, they basically had a dev spotlight where Brass took charge of this interview with Lynn Ashworth. And she's technically no stranger to Pantheon because she's worked with Ben Dean in the past on other endeavours. I highly recommend to give that a read if you want to get some more insight in the workflow of the project manager, Lynn Ashworth. She's more behind the scenes, helping the guys out. You'll see her at events and everything, she'll pop out there. But she's more like behind the scenes, doing her magic. Highly recommend giving that a read. But let's go and move on to what we wanted to come and talk about. So, we have a new website. Same web address, but a new website. Me and Lex decided, well, basically what happened was Kairos reached out to Lex. Lex, I'll let you explain how this all came about.
Do you really want me to do that?
Yes.
Look, Bus, there's a Lex right over him. Boom.
Basically, came, said, do a website, told him, talk to Yarn.
Now, he basically reached out to Lex, and Lex kind of got the ball rolling with him. And he basically took the realms to design a whole new website with features we've been wanting to get in. Lex has been wanting to do this a very long time, but obviously he's a very busy person. So and him being by himself and with everything that he's doing, this was a great opportunity for us to pass this on to Kairos, who was actually getting his degree in web development. And this was basically his so-called reference project, I think you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it was for his final project, maybe?
So,
I don't remember.
So he's designed our brand new website, and we have a ton of cool features we want to quickly go over with you. And we ask that you sign up to our website at pantheon-vot.com. And I'm going to log in and show you some of these cool features. So before we get to the big one.
And Yarn's been banned by the super administrator Lexer.
So we have an article system where you can create different articles. You add the title in there. You have a selection of articles that you want to do, be it a guide, a blog, some fan fiction, some fan-made stuff, something to do with lore, or a review on anything, or something else, basically. And you can create these guides. And they
you can do a review of the VOT show and tell everyone how great I am.
Exactly. And it will basically pop up here. Then you can click on it. For instance, you see here, just a test what we got going. You can add a comment to it. You can add likes to it and everything. And the same with news. The news is related to us, though, to the VOT. This is where we will be basically informing the entire community of things evolving around the VOT show, the game itself, the community, and the VOT guild. And we have a really cool way of doing this. We have a drag and drop builder where you can build columns, rows, add buttons, images, videos, etc., which is really, really nice. We will most likely release some of these features later on to other community members that are going to be, interested in using some of these features maybe at a later time. Media as well. What's interesting for you guys is you can have anybody that signs up can write articles. You can use the gallery section and upload images. How that works is basically you give yourself a title, a description, you add the tag yourself. So, for instance, Janila's.
I will say that I'll be keeping
gallery.
a close eye on the images.
Yes, gallery. Then you choose to upload your file. The thing is, this is the gallery container that you're creating right now. So you would basically have Janila's gallery, and I'm just going to go and grab a picture. Let's have a look. Let's go with that. And post. Hopefully it shows up.
Error.
A lot of people that are in IT understand the difference between development and production environments and the pains of deploying.
Yep, so
we've been fighting that for the last 3 days.
Yeah, so there it is. There's my gallery that I've created. I didn't have to update it. Basically took it just a few seconds for it to produce. You would then click on it, and then you can add your images for that. So that's a pretty neat feature, and we're really excited to bring you this. You can view videos, streams, podcasts on here. I don't think streams is quite set up yet. Actually, yes it is. There's streams in here already, okay. Then we have the reference page, which is still getting built. But we wanted to put this in there to basically explain to you guys, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff for you guys in the community, be it content creators, people that are blogging, people that are active in there. We want to put you out there, people that have fan sites or Wikipedias or like Pantheon 101 with the ItemDB. This is all going to be in there with the links, information. Then we obviously have a link to the VR site. But let's get into it all now. The really cool stuff happens when you go to your profile. So we don't have the opt-in section yet set up where you could receive emails when we do a newsletter, for instance. But the LFG section is working, which I'll explain in a minute. You can select the LFG button, obviously, and this is for the calendar system, which I'll explain in a minute. You have your connections that you can add here. You can change your username, your password, your email address. You can add your first name, your last name. Be warned, at the moment we don't have that in there yet. If you do add your name at the moment, it is displayed publicly, just to let you know. But this is the great thing about this. Down here at the moment, because we don't obviously have access to the API, or we don't know what kind of access we're going to have, because the game isn't in that stage yet. But you can create your characters, and I'll go ahead and create a new character. I can't select my main or alt because they're already determined down here. But I can give my character a name, and I'll call this one Janela. I'll select the race she's going to be, and we'll have a halfling. And the role: healer, melee DPS, range DPS, tank, support, utility.
When you select halfling, there needs to be a role called dinner.
Then bard or druid, we'll go with the druid. And you have an image slider here where you can basically update your level at the moment for the time being, or you can basically just use the tags or type it in. You can select your professions and your specialization. You update this, and this is actually needed for the calendar system, which we'll get into in a minute. But you can have a look at your public profile. This is what it looks like. Achievements is something that we're working on to add achievements. They could be some fun achievements that you get by exploring the website, or by posting a certain amount of articles, or doing events, taking part in events and stuff like that. We're thinking of quite a few things and ways for you guys to interact with the website as well and be rewarded at the same time, just for fun. And then you see here the list of characters that person has. And then
you won't see it right there. You're always planning to play a Dire Lord.
Oh yes, I am.
There we go.
So before we look at the forms and tickets, we'll go to the calendar because I've already added some characters. But the calendar, you can create a event. You give it a start date, an end date, a URL if you're coming from the outside. So if you're not a part of our guild and you've got your own website or whatever, where further information is, or where people just, you want to advertise your site or something like that, you could put your URL in there. You have to give the event a title. So VOT Raid as an example. And then you have the events. You can create this event like this, which will just have a description. So if you're doing something like a get together on Twitch or in Discord or in game, just hanging out in some tavern or whatever to chit chat, you would use the event tag, and you'd go ahead and post that. But the cool features are the group function and the raid function. What happens is if you click on group, down here, a group window is provided, and you can go in there and you can select out of a multitude of choices what you want to basically have in your group. You can determine it by its role only. You can determine it as any, so basically anybody that has a class can, and it has obviously the right what's the word I'm looking for?
Requirements.
Requirements, exactly. Yeah. The right requirements for this. So if it's a level 50...
Language barrier.
Yep. If you're level 50, but you're only level 39, you obviously won't be able to sign up to that. But you can, you can select this, any crowd control, and it gives you an option to define that even further. If you want to have, if you don't care, one or the other, or you want to determine it specifically for the enchanter, off you go, and so forth. You can create this event. Let's go with a healer. Let's go with a off tank. Let's go with a tank, and the last one we'll go with. Let's go with support. Period. Doesn't matter. Anyway, post this event. It's posted, and if you've basically opted in for the LFG, you will get messages. That's not working 100% right now, but I'll explain that in a minute. If you now go to the calendar, you'll see that this event is in here, VOT Raid. You'll get this window, and you'll see here right away, because I've already got characters added to my profile. I have a cleric, I have a druid,
I just signed up,
and I have any. I can basically.
I just signed up, so you should be able to see it.
All right, so you signed up to it, have you?
Yep.
Let's have a look. We'll have to see, get that refreshed. We'll have to get that fixed as well, that it refreshes. So see, Lex has taken the role of the Dialord, the tank. I'll click on the healer, select my character, that pops up, and it will add my healer in there. There you go. Now this is taken by Yanula, the Darkmere healer cleric, and that's it. Once that group's fulfilled, off you go. Fun days. Another cool one is with the raids. If you go to raid, you have your subtags as well. That's another one I want to explain. For groups and raids, we have subtags. If you want to define it even more, if you want to, go into a dungeon or explore, quest, epic, harvesting, crafting, perception, faction, whatever, you can define that even further. But down here now, you have a group size, and you can basically select anywhere between one group. Obviously, we'll have to get that fixed. It has to be a minimum of 2, but 2 groups, 3 groups, or 4 groups, and you can build your raid. And then that will pop up on the calendar. So that's a big feature we wanted to bring to you. We're really excited to have this out here, where we can get everybody together in the entire community, all the guilds together, all the raid forces together, and we can be open to each other and help each other out. Yeah, so that's the calendar system. But next up is our forms. Forms is basically similar to like Google Docs, where you can have you can create a form with a question, create a complete form sheet like a guild questionnaire or a
it's
general
a more
questionnaire.
advanced poll system.
A more advanced poll system, exactly. But the next one is, we have down here, you have forms or polls where you can create a poll. You can add additional questions. Obviously for us, internally, we have the guild feature where we basically just click on that button and it's there for the entire guild. But polls in general are open. If you want to have it private for a select few people, you can then select the people through the list that are registered to the site. And you have to have your title and your expiration date. Again, that works the same way. You choose the date when it expires, the time as well. And this is all your local time. So if you're in the Europe, where I am now, it's done in my time. So 1:30 AM is 1:30 AM my time, not your time. So it's basically highlighted towards your time zone. But the next big one, something we always had planned from the get-go, was our ticket system. And anybody can create a ticket, and the general idea is to keep major issues away from the game when we're playing the game, because we don't want major drama affecting our fun inside the game, do we? We want to enjoy ourselves. Yep. You know, people are always going to be button heads and everything, but this is also a great way for others to communicate with us and help us.
It's a way to help keep not only the game time enjoyable for our members, but those that interact with our members.
Yeah, exactly. So
because we don't just care about our people.
Yeah. So this is another great thing as well. If there is an issue that happened with one of our guildies, for instance, with a different guild, you're from a different guild, you can put in a ticket and inform us about it, and we can work this out. You know, and
yeah. It also works for positive things too.
Exactly. We have a list of different types of tickets you can put in: harassment, abuse, griefing, exploit, guild issue, website issue, Discord issue, general, feedback, you name it. And we'll obviously add more over time.
Right. But if you wanted to just say, hey, I grouped with Josh Monk yesterday, he was a great member.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Very great.
We care about that stuff, so.
Exactly.
We don't just want to hear bad stuff, even though that's generally what ticket systems are used for.
Yeah. We have offenders, corroborators, others involved. You can either select somebody from the list that's on the website, or you can even type in a name. So Bob, for instance, is the person that, you know, you interacted with and had an issue with or whatever. You can even add image proof. Proof of the situation, because that helps us as well, because he said, she said, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, there's nothing can come out of it, but if you can provide some kind of proof to help us figure out what the situation is, that's always a plus as well. But then after you've put your ticket in, you can go to your tickets, and then you'll see your tickets here. There's a guild issue pending. We have to get that fixed as well. The priority level shouldn't be in there. But you can see the type, when it was created, when it was last updated, reported by, etc. Down here, the admins have the people that, you know, behind the site that have the responsibility of handling these tickets will be able to do status changes and add notes. You'll be able to see these notes and respond to the notes as well. So if we need further information or whatnot, you can then, you know, look that up.
It's easy for multiple officers or guild leaders to coordinate.
Yeah.
So that something doesn't fall through the cracks or something doesn't get handled by the inappropriate person. Like if someone were to complain about me, I can't handle that.
Exactly. Yep, so that's our ticket system, and we do have an admin section.
Why do I sense there's like 6 tickets coming in about me right now?
And basically, you know, I'll just give you a brief overlook of our admin section. You know, we're transparent, but as you can see here, this is where we can view the tickets, additional information. We can go in there, and I'll just show you now. Basically, Joshua wants to look like Christian Bale. This ticket is pending. Your test can go to hell. But okay, there it is. Let me go and see. You will never look like Christian Bale. And that now should update, hopefully.
I think you have to hit update.
Submit. There you go, down there. You'll see down here, Yanala has now added the note, you will never look like Christian Bale. And there you go. So these are the two...
And actually, that's another bug, Kyrus. That note that this test can go to hell, that's from another ticket that was submitted that I changed, because that's what I put in.
Yeah, so we'll have to look at that. But for the most part, it's working how we wanted it to work, and we're happy to bring you this. We've been waiting for a long time to get this out there. The calendar system and the ticket system are the two core features we have. And then you also have the message system as well, where you can shoot people messages out of a select. You select out the list you want to message, type your title in, type your message in, and then you create it, and off it goes. And then have a look. I was chatting with Josh. We'll have to get this. Still needs a bit of fixing. Where's that one from you, Josh? Testing. There it is. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, we deleted it, didn't we?
No.
No, we didn't. Okay.
No.
Well, that was a poll we did. I don't know. Anyway,
It was a poll. Yeah.
Okay, it's a poll we did. So there's the messages I have between me and Lionheart. You can basically just reply here. There is a minor bug still, or a few minor bugs with this that we're going to sort out in the next couple of days, weeks, whatever. It's meant to automatically show you when a new event pops in, regardless of clicking on messages or not. It's meant to happen actively behind the site, behind the whole system when you're on. So if you're exploring the website, and in the meantime I send you a message or whatever, or somebody else, or something happens on this site where it requires to give you a message, that's meant to happen automatically and show you. Yeah.
Refresh your message. I just sent you one.
Let's have a look, see what Lex has done here. Where is it? Lex, I quit. Find someone else to be your slave. Awesome, buddy. And it highlights here that in orange the new messages that have come in, so basically the ones you haven't looked at. And yeah, we're happy to bring you guys these features. We're really excited about this, and there's still a lot more to come to this.
Yeah, there is. There's some pretty monumental plans in the works for this. This is like the tip of the iceberg.
Definitely.
Which is why I quit.
Yep, so welcome to the new Pantheon VOT website, everybody, and we hope to see you all soon on there, and we hope you like these features. We can't wait to actually get to test the calendar. I mean, we can use it maybe for other games. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. For the meantime, if you want to use the calendar system, hit us up. If you have a guild that's playing games and everything, and you think this feature's cool, and you want to use it, let us know, and we'll give you the access to this, so you can use it for your games that you're playing, to create your events and keep everything in track. Obviously, we can't support we can't support your game. So if you're playing like EverQuest 2 or World of Warcraft or anything like that, we don't have that set up.
You'll have to make creative use of what's there.
Yes, exactly. For now, we'll leave it at that. Yeah. So that is what's happening with the website, but the VOT show. So what's happening with the VOT show? So we've come back. We're back from break, and as you guys know, for the last couple of months, we've been really struggling with finding content to talk about without rehashing the old and going over our old shows time and again. That we will be doing that, but mind you, we'll be looking at the classes, the races, the lore updates and everything, to kind of look at once the classes, for instance, are finalized or in their final stages, we'll go back and have let's have a look at what we said back then and what it is now.
Let's see how close we got.
Exactly. Let's see how close we got to what we said and what they've done. Those kind of shows will be happening. But basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to have like hangout shows where we play games. and just hang out with the community. Anybody's invited to play these games with us and hang out with us, and talk Pantheon. Have some fun while we're doing that. We'll still be doing our typical interviews, dev interviews, player interviews. We'll be doing our speculation shows and talking about mechanics as they come out. Once there's stuff viable for us to talk about, we'll go out and do those shows. But we've got this structured down. Every third week of the month, every third Saturday of the month, basically, after the newsletter's been released, we will be doing our Tavern Talk show. The week later, after that, we will be sitting down to talk about a subject in the newsletter, provided it is worth discussing. And that's us going forward. We're still thinking of other endeavours to look at. I think we talked about doing a late night show. That's still in the back of our heads, but real life is there as well, so that's got to be taken care of. And we will be working on that for sure at some point. Yeah. But
late night will be rated M for mature.
Definitely. But stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out for that. So next up, do not go away when we end this show, because just after 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be coming back on this channel, and we have the privileged honour of hosting the very first community matters show with the likes of Basgrim, Pantheon Plus, Nathan Napalm, Chris Kane, Pantheon Radio, Alexis Summerwood from Pantheon Roleplayers, and damn it!
I'm not helping you on this one.
Wisdom from Condemned, from Team C and D. Oh my god, I nearly lost it there. Obviously, we'll be here as well. But
how can you forget Wisdom?
I didn't mean to. But the community show basically will grow over time. There will be additional members coming in as the content creators, and the, we'll call it the community all-stars, kind of, start to populate themselves more. We'll have more come in. We'll even have different people being on the show, so it won't always be the same people there. You'll have different people pop in, but it will grow as it goes. That's happening right after this, and you definitely want to watch this. We have a giveaway during the show. But I'm not going to talk too much about it, and we have something to announce as well that we've been working on for the last, 3 months now?
I don't know. I just kind of zone out when you talk, so I have no idea.
I think it's been. I think it's good to say 3 months we've been working on this as a closed community that we wanted to bring to you guys. That's coming right up after our break. So stay tuned, and we hope to see you in 15 to 20 minutes, and obviously next Saturday.
Pending technical difficulties,
because I'm bound to get a blue screen as soon as I shut off the stream. So we might be a little late. I don't know. We'll see. But stick around.
We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Actually, it's funny you say that with sponsor, because I've got to say it now. I'm going to say it now. Pantheon Radio will technically be sponsoring the VOT show as of next week.
Wow.
Because Mad Dog has gone out his way to help me out get a replacement board for my system. And
well done.
He's helped me out because I've been having issues, as you guys know, for a very long time. Lex has already said it for over a year. It's your main board. We shall see if it was my main board, and hopefully it was. And again, Mad Dog, thank you very much.
You don't sit in IT for 20 years and not figure out what it is.
So we'll be back after this short break and these short messages. Stay tuned.
Blue screen.